In the past few years, I've been working as a life coach. I've been mostly working with people who are adults, full grown adults. And I've been coaching on topics like career success or business success and family success and these things. And recently, I have been working coincidentally a little bit, a lot with teenagers. Teenagers with a lot of different backgrounds, uh, living in diverse places around the world, not just in one place. And as I worked with more and more young people and teenagers, something that I noticed is the teenagers have a very kind of a globally shared trait that I really don't see in adults. Because when I coach adults, the problems are more individual, right? I don't think there's like a uniform shared trait that all the adults have. But when it comes to teenagers, I find that there's one thing that kind of unifies a teenager experience. And that unified teenager experience is that it seems so hopeless. And that's a very unfortunate place to be in life, I think. But the fact that so many teenagers feel like this, of course, there will be teenagers who are motivated and who are eager to do things with their lives. But most of the teenagers are in this loop of I don't really see how life will be better. Therefore, I could try some stuff when I'm occasionally motivated every once in a while, but I, and the motivation runs out, and I don't because runs out. I haven't gathered enough traction to move forward with the passion or whatever, like the thing that I'm supposed to do with my life. Therefore, I go back to the state where nothing seems like there's a point. I don't see how my life is going to get better after this, and so they resign themselves to just accepting how the world is just going to be this really boring and this really mundane. Nothing ever really happens. Nothing ever really changes kind of a situation, and because of this really um, boring and grim reality, they tend to turn to drugs. And I completely understand why they would, because drugs, at least it gives you a stimulus, right? And other stimulus, like hitting the gym, like going out and doing things, they make me feel good, but I don't always have control over it. Whereas drugs, it's so simple. All I have to do is just smoke one, or all I have to do is just take one thing, and then it's so reliable, right? And so, as I'm working with these kids, the pure hopelessness that I witness and experience, I think, deserves a kind of a special note on my YouTube channel. Because if you are a teenager who is particularly feeling like things are hopeless, right? Then what can you do? What can you do is, as long as you kind of stay in this kind of a loop of a life, you are most likely going to replicate what that loop is continuing to tell you to do. And when it comes to your future, as you it's like a RPG game. The more you level up, the more choices you have in the game, right? So as you grow older, you will have more options. You will have more range of selection in terms of how to live your life. But because you're so used to negatively thinking, or you know what, not even negatively, because you're so used to looking at one area of life, and you've already accepted that this will be your reality. What that will do is you have more options, but you will continue to stay in this area, and that's if things are good. But in the worst case, what's gonna happen is you will come to resent all the other choices because it's other people seem so lucky that they have those options when it was never really available to you. So the work that I have been doing with the teenagers is kind of giving them something to look forward to, right? When you are an adult, what opens up? Right now, you don't really know what kind of things open up because you're so used to living in that kind of a your own bubble, so to speak. And even if you are venturing outside of your bubble, what it's likely going to be is like your family's bubble, your mom's bubble, your dad's bubble. And because of that, yeah, you get your college counselors and things like that, but they're gonna give you, ranges and options that are available in the world that's appropriate for a school counselor to offer you, right? They're not going to give you a true range of things that you can do as an adult. So while I could give you some options, in terms of, like when you go to college, for example, there's so many new fields of study that have actually emerged after I graduated from college, right? If you want to take your gaming to college, there's like in UC Irvine, there's a esports major, right? And even if you don't want to take it like that professionally in terms of gaming, in terms of entertainment, there's a lot of new kind of and emerging, because smartphones and things like that, AI, these things have evolved so much. Not only is the study of AI and those things have it evolved, under other interdisciplinary studies related to the usage of AI, ethics, and environmental conservation, now that it's like more now that it's more felt through your skin, the impact of environmental change. Those are things that you don't really have the option to study at school right now, right? All you're studying in school is, I get it, it's boring, right? AP literature, IB Chem, physics. But you just don't know right now that in college there are so many cool fields of study that are available to you. And even if you don't want to go to college, right? In terms of, in the traditional, if you don't want to study like, academics, there's lots of vocational schools in the trades, which is excellent choice if you want to start making money as soon as possible with a dedicated skill. But these days, so many businesses are going to benefit from having lots of education through virtually, right? It was actually even available to me when I was in high school. And but think of how much online education has gotten over the past few years. The thing is, many colleges, they have schools of continuing education or extension programs, and so there's nothing really stopping you from taking advantage of those courses that are available to pretty much everyone. Yeah, of course there is tuition, but if you're a citizen of the United States, it is likely that you can get some financial aid for it, and also you can visit your community colleges, right? And so even if you're not going to take a class there, you can audit if you ask the permission. And even if you don't audit a class, professors and faculty in general are surprisingly open to talking to everyone. So you could totally reach out to one of the faculty members at a school you're interested in, and you don't have to even meet them. Just email exchanges. They're very actually open to people reaching out to them. Why? Because these are people who are really passionate about what they do, right? Most of them, anyway. So it opens up a lot of new doors. It opens up a lot of new connections and things like that. And even in my YouTube channel, I talk about in terms of Korean Buddhism, right? So many advances in my study of Korean Buddhism has come from meeting these people, whether it be a monk or a professor, right? So just like that, I want you to know right now, things can feel hopeless, and you know what? You have good reasons to feel hopeless because life is so mundane, and especially after COVID, the bubbling has become so much more prevalent. But there's a lot more outside of that bubble, and you know what? It is scary. It is scary to venture outside of that bubble because why? Every bubble is kind of comforting, right? In Buddha, back in Buddha's time, Buddha encouraged people to meditate under a different tree every day because Even if you train, meditate for under the same tree just twice, you'll start attaching to that tree. So think of how comforting your bubble must be, even if the bubble feels so limiting and hopeless, right? But there's more to life. There's more things to look forward to, and I'm today I'm telling you about all these things that are available to you even right now. But think of all the things that are going to be available in the future. But again, what if they suck? Yes, so not all of them will be good experiences. But the thing is it all that different from today? Your life until now, it's been filled with good moments and bad moments, right? And you're somewhat okay right now, right? And you have the choice to choose to do something, or you can rest. And okay, so you don't do anything today, but tomorrow you have that option available to you again. You go out and do something tomorrow, good. Something good may happen, something bad may happen, nothing may happen. But again, you always have that option available to you. And so I want you to know that today is this bubble, and you have a lot of opportunities to break through.